Hey guys, this episode of Hitting the Ropes Wrestling Podcast, we review NXT and AEW from this past week. We also talk about our positives and negatives going on in the WWE main roster. I also mentioned Marty Scurll debuting in NWA and how I am such a big fan of this as well. We also talk about the Street Profits and New Day signing multi-year contracts and other stuff we're going to touch on as well on this episode of Hitting the Ropes Wrestling Podcast, episode 11. This is episode 11? Because I did the solo cast, that was 10. I think it's 11.
I guess so.
Well, I guess we'll just get it started off right off the bat. So, December 19th, it's Thursday, so that means obviously last night we had the greatest day of the week for wrestling, that's Wednesdays. We had NXT and AEW. I think we'll get into AEW after NXT, because I think NXT was definitely the show that stole last night. I mean, those two title matches were fucking awesome. I ended up watching NXT after AEW because I know you were watching NXT. I was watching AEW, kind of live tweeting a little bit about that. But I guess we'll start off right off the bat with Adam Cole and Finn Balor, or Prince Balor, Prince Balor. And like, what a fucking match, dude. Like, that was that the first time they've like met up in NXT? I'm pretty sure it is.
I think other than Finn Balor kicking him in the face, this is their first match.
Because I don't think Adam Cole's around for the Bullet Club or not. Yeah, I know he was in Bullet Club. I know Adam Cole was in Bullet Club, but I think Finn Balor had left by that point. So I think this was like their first like official match.
Yeah, because if you think about it, I mean, Adam Cole was in the Bullet Club when Cody was around.
Yeah, it was like towards the tail.
By that time, I mean, Finn Balor was back in WWE or NXT at the time.
I think like their chemistry that they showed last night was just, how do I usually say it? It was firing on all cylinders. It was so good, dude. Like, it got to the point where there was a couple moments where I was like, I think Balor's going to take this. And like, this is like their, I don't want to say go home show before the holidays, but it kind of is. I mean, I know we just kind of read before we started this that they're having an actual holiday episode, which I'm pretty sure they're going to tape that if anything. But yeah, there was a couple times where I was like, I think Finn's going to take this title. And then of course we get Cole for the win. And I think it was around no commercial interruptions. So I think I timed it out to be like a 25-minute match around there. And then we have Gargano come out and kind of, do the distraction and screw Finn over and everything. So I guess like this is leading up to kind of, Gargano versus Balor at Worlds Collide, maybe?
I would assume so, because, I mean, Worlds Collide, the whole idea is people from the past and present, right? So even though Finn Balor is currently in NXT, he's also part of the past, which works for this whole pay-per-view theme.
Yeah, it's weird because I always thought the Worlds Collide. I can't remember if I've watched a previous one or not, but I was always pretty key on, I think it's like Raw, SmackDown, and NXT kind of doing a network special. But I could be wrong in that, but I would assume it would lead up to, Worlds Collide, or maybe like, a middle of January episode of NXT, because I don't think they would drag out, or I don't think they could drag out a build up to a match with Balor and Gargano for like TakeOver Portland, which is like, I think towards the end of February. So that's like 2 months around there, 2.5 months of build up they would have to do. And I don't think they could make that last. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about it last night. I'm thinking maybe they're going to have this Worlds Collide match between Gargano and Cole. Gargano and Balor. And then Portland, they'll give a title opportunity to one of the other guys, like Keith Lee or Tommaso Ciampa, and then save another Adam Cole and Finn Balor match for NXT TakeOver in Tampa.
Oh, that would be awesome. I mean, we're going to be there, so.
Or make it a triple threat, or make it a fatal 4-way match with some of the other guys involved.
Who? So you're saying like Finn Balor, Cole, and 2 other guys? Is that what you're saying for like a fantasy booking kind of deal?
Yeah, like why not throw Ciampa in there, and maybe Keith Lee or somebody else that obviously like the NXT roster is pretty stacked right now that anybody can be a champion.
Yeah.
I think.
I think right now NXT's roster is like, it's funny because when Finn Balor was in NXT, his first run, like it was so good. Their roster was amazing, but now, like as of like this recording right now, like I think they have the best roster they've ever had, and it's to the point where they're doing so well, and people are loving it so much. I mean, I like Ciampa was on Lillian Garcia's podcast, which I recommend everyone listen to that episode because it was awesome, and he talks about how he won't go to the main roster. He like specifically said like I will not go. Like if they ask me to go, I will retire and become a coach. Like that's how much he doesn't want to leave it, and I'm sure other people don't want to leave at the same time because they're just everything they're pouring out right now is just pure gold. Like there's no way they could fuck up unless Big Daddy Vince comes down to fucking Orlando and is like, I'm running this ship now. But
yeah, and the more I look at like some of the guys on the roster, I can kind of see them in certain places. For other championships, like Damian Priest had a match yesterday versus Killian Dane. Both of those guys, I can see potentially having the North American Championship.
Yeah.
Kushida versus Cameron Grimes. Both guys are kind of small. Now that the Cruiserweight title is officially part of NXT, it's going to be more prestigious, I think, and that's a good title potentially to go for now.
I think it's funny because I can definitely see Killian Dane being like a really good North American champion until Velveteen Dream comes back and kind of. Well, I don't think Velveteen Dream should come back and claim that title again. I think he should just go straight for the NXT title, like maybe like a surprise kind of deal in Tampa for Takeover or something along those lines.
Yeah, I still kind of want him to get called up. Like, I know it's not considered a call-up anymore, but I would like to see him as, like, an Intercontinental Champion on the main roster.
Oh, that would actually be fucking sweet. Damn, I didn't even think about that. But do you think he would fizzle out quick? Like, maybe not so much with the fans, but, like, as far as, like, the higher-ups go?
Yeah, I think everybody's fizzling out pretty quick on the main roster.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a little bit, but...
Yeah, we'll definitely will. But then we had Rhea Ripley. So of course we have. So Cole retains. It was a great match. I would give that one, if we were gonna score it with our own personal scores that we usually do or used to do. I would
like a 90.
I give it like a 92. Yeah, 90, 92. Definitely at minimum an A-. It was, or if not more. It was fucking awesome. And then I kind of skipped through a little bit and kind of skimmed and scammed over the rest of the show for NXT. The Killian Dane match I skimmed through. That was awesome. The Kushida match was really, really good. I think Kushida's just a great worker overall. I mean, I remember when he was on 205 Live when they had 205 Live was doing like the big arena shows after the fact, after the main show's done and everything. And I don't think he got to shine as much as he can in NXT. Like I said, the main roster can be very micromanaged and very overproduced, but every time he's in it, has a match in NXT, he's great. But then we get to the main event of the night, which was Shayna Baszler versus Rhea Ripley, which, in my opinion, everyone says that Bayley, Sasha, Takeover Brooklyn should have been the first 5-star women's match, which I kind of agree with. But I think this match is officially the greatest women's match we've seen ever in WWE, and it's just my opinion. And I think it should be a 5-star match if Meltzer's gonna rate that. I mean, this match had every single element.
I mean, what I liked about it was that with the whole submission lock at the end. I forget what Baszler calls it, but she had it trapped in, and you're like, we've seen this before. She's just gonna tap, or she's gonna pass out, and she's gonna lose. And it was a good match. It was hard fought, but in the end, Baszler just proved that she won again. But the whole classic style of wrestling of like, you know, you can see me, but everybody can't. But like, you know, like when the arm is like about to fall down, and you know, like the Hogan style thing or whatever.
Yeah, and then she grabs the ref. Like,
yeah, like that was like a little twist on like what that, you know, what that used to be. And I like that. I like that a lot because then like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh shit, like it's actually not over yet.
Dude, when she grabbed the ref, I was like laying in bed because I knew I had to get up early and everything, and we were gonna do the podcast tomorrow. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna watch Cole match and then the Ripley match, and then, you know, because those are gonna be the two biggest talking points. And I'm in my bed like, damn, like I guess Ripley's gonna, you know, pass out and that's it, and Shayna's gonna go on to the Rumble as the champion and carry that to a Rumble match. And then when she grabbed the ref, I won't lie, I popped in bed. I was like, oh shit! And like I stood up and I was like, no, okay, this just got really good. And that was like a really kind of, like you said, like, you know, doing the whole Hogan thing, but a whole new twist on it. And then she kind of gets out of that. She somehow gets out of it and just stomps the shit out of Shayna Baszler, and then to win it, she goes to the second rope, does the, what is it called, the Ripley effect? I'm pretty sure. Riptide, yeah. And she does it from the second, you know, turnbuckle, and then that ends the match. And it was just, the only thing I wish they would have shown, and obviously they couldn't do it, they had to do it with commercials because the Cole match, they, you know, did it without commercials. The only thing I wish they kind of showed was the other two horsewomen kind of interfering a little bit, because that would have gave it a little bit more heel heat, in my opinion. But at the same time, and also at the same time, I feel like those women should be having matches more on NXT TV, because they are putting in a lot of work, and they need to be shown as more than just, you know, a Jake Hager Ronin kind of deal.
Yeah, but I know Shafir and Duke are definitely like on NXT live events, but maybe they just don't feel like they're ready. I feel like they're going to be a tag team. I think most of their matches at the live events have been.
Yeah.
But,
or they might just be getting them ready for like a Mania horsewomen versus horsewomen match kind of deal at the same time.
I mean, I think Ronda Rousey's going to come back at the Royal Rumble.
Really?
And I think she's going to win it. But I mean, that's a different prediction. But
that's a bold prediction to say Ronda's going to win the Rumble, dude. That would I would love to see her come back. I don't think Ronda is bad at all. I think she's actually very, very good and has learned very quickly. But if she won the Rumble, I would hope she would do it as a heel.
Oh,
I don't want
definitely.
the squeaky clean like babyface Ronda Rousey. Like that's wears the Piper jacket. I want like badass Ronda Rousey. Like that'd be fucking cool. But yeah. So this match is just, dude, it was so good. What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, speaking of the Royal Rumble, do you think, so you know how, like, in the past, if you were on SmackDown, if you were on Raw, you win and you go for the championship that you're assigned to, right? Like, if I was on SmackDown, I'd be going for the Universal Championship. In this case, if I was on Raw, I'd be going for a WWE Champion.
Yeah.
Now, if they put NXT in the Royal Rumble, and an NXT member wins, do they go for the NXT championship on TakeOver, not at Mania? Or do you still have TakeOver and they can, you know, that's weird, right?
Well, I mean, like, the thing, I remember when it used to be like that, when the draft first happened in 2001 or 2002, whatever it was, you had to go to your assigned kind of deal. But then I remember the when I really was like super into wrestling as a kid, it was Benoit, and he was on SmackDown, and he won the Rumble in 2004, and he showed up on Raw the next night, and everyone's like, he's from SmackDown, what is he doing? And he was like, well, I can challenge for any title. So I guess pretty much at this point you can challenge for any title, I would assume so. But if an NXT superstar won, yeah, that's another question. Would they have to go on TakeOver for the championship, or would they... Or they'd be like, let's just have the NXT match headline WrestleMania and let Triple H produce it.
Which I don't see happening right now, but...
No, I wish, though. That would be sweet.
It's just, I don't know, that popped in my head, and I wanted to talk about it before I forgot it.
If you could... Well, I know that this year what they're trying to do is... the rumor is they're going to... For the women's and men's match, they're going to have 10 NXT superstars... 10 SmackDown, 10 Raw. All right, let me ask you this. If you could have any NXT superstar, it is a superstar, it's WWE. If you could have any NXT superstar win the Rumble, who would it be?
If I was booking it,
I'd have Ciampa win.
Oh, I was thinking of women right now.
Oh well, no, you can do men and women. For the men, I definitely do Ciampa. For the women, Io Shirai all the way.
I don't know, man. Maybe someone like Keith Lee or something.
Keith Lee would be good. Yeah, he's definitely, dude. He's been a shining star the past 2 months. It's been wild.
Yeah, and if it was the women and Baszler doesn't get her championship back, I would have Baszler win. Just because, the heel booking or whatever, I think is a crucial part of wrestling, obviously.
Yeah, your dogs definitely disagree with that right now. They're just like, hell no, not a chance. All right, yeah. So moving on from NXT, at the same time we had AEW last night. A fully stacked card. It was awesome. I mean, kicking it off with Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page against the Lucha Bros was a great way to kick it off. Definitely think Adam Page. I mean, I don't know if you saw the run-in at the end of AEW last night. At the last match, Dark Order kind of took over the whole kind of show.
I saw the recap, but I did not watch the full match. The only matches I saw were I watched part of the first one. I was kind of simultaneously watching Hangman Page, Kenny Omega versus Lucha Bros, and then I did watch Darby Allin and Cody versus Butcher and Blade,
which was awesome. I loved that match. Oh my god, it was so good.
Awesome Kong was a squash match that lasted all about 7 seconds, so I watched that one.
She needs to be in an actual long match. I'm over squash matches at this point.
Jungle Boy versus Chris Jericho, I saw.
That was good. I liked that one a lot. It was a weird ending, but
technically I think I watched a lot of AEW last night because I did watch Chris Statlander as well. And
well,
then,
you had the two screens up.
Yeah, right? I did not watch the last match though. That's it. I saw it on Instagram. I saw the recap.
Yeah, the last match was actually really, really good. You could definitely tell the crowd was tired at the end, but then Dark Order kind of runs in with everything and kind of takes over the whole show. Kind of, everyone, the whole elite comes out and they're taking them all out. But Hangman Page absent, and I'm thinking Hangman Adam Page is gonna join the Dark Order at this point, and I think it'd be kind of cool because I love his whole cowboy shit gimmick, but I don't know, they're kind of booking him kind of weak. It feels like in my opinion.
I know they're really trying to push Dark Order. I feel like no one else feels it, and
Do you mean fan wise?
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
I mean, I'm feeling it.
You did not at the beginning, though.
No, God, no. Because we had nothing at the beginning. We just had these druids just running around with no context. So I was just like, what the fuck is this shit? But then they gave us a little bit of context, and now I'll join Dark Order. I'll go on the website right now, dude. I'll join there. I'll join
Dark Order. Was it joindarkorder.com?
Yeah, I want my coupon for the holiday mailing list. Hell yeah. Joindarkorder.com, baby. Free plug.
I mean, it's just a weird. I don't really know what they are yet. That's the thing, right? So if you think about these dark factions that we used to have back in the day, right? Ministry of Darkness, Corporate Ministry, the Brood, random things like that. They all had a common theme, right? The Undertaker was kind of the dead guy, and Gangrel with the vampire and Edge and Christian. And it's just I don't really know what the Dark Order is yet. I know obviously they're kind of psychological, join our group and etc. But the whole like you said, those druid, I forget, they're not druids, but the gimp guys are kind of weird. And
the gimp guys. They're called minions? What the fuck? I don't know what they're fucking not minions. Fuck, what are they? I don't know what the guys are called. But yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's I don't know. It's definitely a weird group, but no, I think their whole thing is kind of a cult thing. They kind of recruit vulnerable people.
Yeah, yeah. Like I know it's a cult, but I just don't know like what the goal is of it.
Well, maybe we should go on joindarkorder.com and maybe it'll give us some context. Joindarkorder.com. This is how live. Okay, so here we go. Stop losing and start winning. Join Dark Order.
It's kind of like Scientology.
Yeah, this is weird, dude. All right, let's go to About. So, About section. If my internet will. The Dark Order shall set you free. Stop losing and start winning. Hold on. All right, so 20 minutes. Hold on, I'll mark it right now. So you can go let your dogs out.
Oh no, it's all right. They're gonna keep barking. I'm gonna edit them later.
Okay, so here we go. The Dark Order shall set you free. I didn't see the free. Stop losing and start winning. Are you tired of feeling alone, unwanted, disrespected? By joining the Dark Order, you'll find new strength in numbers. We will be your friend and biggest supporter. Our simple guidelines and rules will bring a new order into your life, and you will become more powerful than ever before. Join us today and gain new strength. That just sounds like they're kind of marketing to Hangman. Like, he's so going to join.
You think so?
Oh, definitely. Because, like, think about it. Like, everything that's going on with, like, being the elite, everyone's like, oh, yeah, we're still your friend, I guess. Like, don't worry about it. So that's why I kind of think it's a whole storyline geared toward, it's like an Adam Page, like, heel turn. And then you can actually join the Dark Order with your Twitter handle. You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm joining the Dark Order, everyone.
On your own Twitter or on ours?
Should I do my own or ours? I kind of think it'd be good if we did ours. Because, like, what if they tweet at us? We can retweet it. Everyone would be like, oh, shit. They, like, hitting the ropes heel turn. Like,
yeah, try it.
Name hitting the... Or no, we'll just do HTRW podcast. This is we're joining everybody. HTRW podcast email. Hitting the ropes at, is it podcast? Yeah, it's podcast at gmail.com. I barely check our own phone. I'll do my phone number, but I can forward it to everybody in the group chat. 02 blank blank. Don't worry about what that is. Oh, dude, I hope I get my own mask. That'd be... See, what if they were like, what's your mailing address? I'd be like, oh, shit. All right, so Twitter handle.
Get your own GIMP mask?
Yeah, dude, everyone will be like, what are you? And then, like, all the non-wrestling fans, I'll just be like, oh, Pulp Fiction.
That's what I think about when I see them come out.
All right, so now we have to... Apparently, to join Dark Order, we have to... They say, tell us your story. All right, so we have to think of a good, like, all right, hold on. We'll ad-lib this.
Your story or my story? Our story.
For the longest time, we always wanted to be accepted by the hashtag wrestling community.
Good.
However, it seems when we I don't know. I'll think about... No, we gotta do this now. Because the listeners want to be like, what are they gonna say? However, it seems like when we talk about our opinions in the wrestling world, many people do not see the same vision we do. We need support, friendship, and most of all, the Dark Order. And then I'll end it with, help us, Evil... Hold on, was his name Evil Uno?
Yeah,
help
Evil
us,
Uno.
Evil Uno. You are our only hope.
I'm going to see Star Wars tonight.
Is that tonight?
Yeah.
All right, so live on HTRW podcast, as you just heard, we have officially joined the Dark Order. I really hope... Okay, so then it says... So when you click submit, it says, it is done. There is no turning back.
Ooh. They don't even give you an option to hit B or like circle or something so you can go back.
I know Dark Order's legit because they made me check off that I'm not a robot. So I definitely know it's a legitimate thing. But then going on with so we're heels now, everyone. So you're welcome. But then going on from AEW, it just I don't know. It was a really good episode. I felt like it was definitely, I don't want to say filler, but it definitely, I don't know. It was a good episode. Just like I felt like NXT blew them out of the water for this week, and I can definitely see NXT getting the ratings definitely for this week, especially advertising Cole and Balor and Rhea and Baszler. And then we're gonna go on to, since that's over, the next thing for my checklist. Do we want to talk about the WWE main roster and my gripes with it, or your gripes with it, or should we kind of save that for later down the road?
It doesn't matter.
Because I'm feeling it's a good transition going from kind of an NXT review into the main roster, because as many of our listeners know, I usually, or Matt as well, will live tweet the Raws that happen every Monday. I got about halfway through this Raw, and then I texted you, and I said, yeah, I'm going to go play PS4 or read a book or something, because I'm just, I the only thing I'll say is on the main roster, I'm loving the Seth Rollins stuff. I'm loving his heel turn, but dude, everything else in it is, I don't know, man. I'm not liking it lately. It's just so bad in my opinion. I don't know how are you feeling about the main roster kind of stuff lately? Because you obviously know my gripes with everything, and I'm sure a lot of other people do who listen to us and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, I think the only good thing so far is Seth Rollins. I mean, we both watched TLC, and I was like, oh, great. Bobby Lashley won. Now, what is this? The story's just going to continue? We're going to have another match between them or something? I don't know where they're going with this.
Yeah.
And TLC was just, it started off so good, and then it just died.
It died a really bad death, in my opinion. Because you and I have been talking about how, the Andrade Umberto match was good. Then we had the New Day versus the Revival in the ladder match, which was fucking awesome. But then we had, what else did we have? We had Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, which was
sick.
Yeah, that was an awesome match. And then after that, it just it was like my hairline. It was just a slow decline. It just awfully went away quick.
But even you said something about the OC and the Viking Raiders. I guess we don't really need to watch TLC because we're gonna see the same match on Raw anyway, or on SmackDown, whatever is gonna be on SmackDown. We're gonna see the same thing happen again.
Yeah, and I know back in the day when I especially for the Ruthless Aggression era, if you want to call it that, or what it actually is formally named, they would do that a lot. But not a lot. They would have the pay-per-view for a Raw was on a Sunday, then the next night live on Raw, I'd be okay, we're gonna get. Out of all the matches, we'll have one rematch. So it's okay, at least they would have one rematch from the night before. But it seems like Raw nowadays, it's pretty much almost all the card from the pay-per-view is going to have a rematch the next night. It's kind of what incentive does that give the fans who maybe don't have the network or even have the network to keep subscribing or even buy a pay-per-view? It's you can just watch it for free the next night.
Yeah, I also feel like they do this thing where they put on these really good matches after the cameras are done rolling. Especially you saw that with the Fiend when he first started. See all these matches with Seth Rollins after the 11 o'clock.
You mean like an after dark match kind of deal?
Yeah, they put on all these good shows after Raw's over.
I know they had the Fiend and Drew McIntyre at a steel cage at one point. That was awesome, from what I heard. And then we had, Colin was there in Long Island for the Fiend, Seth Rollins in a steel cage as well. So I mean, yeah, you are right about that. But it's weird because you see all these guys, especially from NXT, but they're just I don't know. It's just. You would think everyone thinks once everyone goes to the main roster from NXT, they're gonna blow it out of the water. But dude, it's so overproduced at this point that it's just, Like that TLC match for the women's match was just, in my opinion, atrociously awful. I would give that a 68 out of 100.
It's just sloppy, but I mean, also you don't know how much Kairi Sane's concussion or whatever happened to her could have played a significant role in that too.
Well, no, that is true 100%. But even if she was taken out of the match with, the ref throwing up the X and she was taken backstage, I feel like it still wouldn't have been saved at all. Even if it was just a one-on-one with like Becky Lynch and Asuka, which is kind of what they're, alluding to for a Mania or Rumble match. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, dude. It's weird because someone actually posted this on Twitter a couple days ago. It was actually a year ago. What was it? Tuesday. A year ago Tuesday, when the McMahon family and Triple H came out and they were on Raw and said, like, we're going to start listening to the fans. We're going to give you guys what you want. Like, you obviously have a bad taste in your mouth about everything, and we're about to change everything. And they literally haven't changed anything. It's just gotten worse. It's just gotten way, way worse.
I think I told you, since NXT went live, SmackDown went to Friday, and live on Fox, I just find it extremely hard to, like, sit through an entire show. Like, I can watch NXT, I can watch AEW, but as far as Raw and SmackDown, I'm like, ugh. Like,
do you mean it's hard to watch for the content, or is it hard to watch because of the day of the week and like how long they are?
I think just the content. I mean, I don't have anything going on right now. I can watch, I can watch 3 hours of Raw. I can watch 2 hours of SmackDown on Friday. It's just, it's not appealing to me anymore.
Well, I mean, the only time I ever watch SmackDown is when I go to the bar. And the reason I watch at the bar is because I can, if there's something I'm not liking, I can look down in shame and fucking drink my vodka soda. I'm off the White Claws for a little bit. Vodka soda. I'm trying less sugar, everybody. But I remember was it last week when they did this, or the week before that? When I was at the bar, and I remember I left my practice space. I was playing some music with some buddies, and then I went to the bar, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, cool, SmackDown's on. And there's this guy, I forgot his name. I always forget his name, but he's like a really big ECW fan. This older guy. He's cool. And we usually meet up Fridays and like we'll watch SmackDown, and we're watching it, and we're having a couple beers or whatever, and they did the dog food thing. And I remember texting you, and I was like, did anyone else, or I texted the group chat, and I was like, did anyone else, like, just see SmackDown or no? And you were like, yeah, they just did the dog food angle. And I was like, that was fucking so embarrassing to, like, be a wrestling fan. Thank God I had my AEW shirt on, because I would have been like, oh, no, I don't watch that. Like, what are you talking about? But, like, it's getting hard for me to, like, watch the content a lot. Like, dude, I usually will last, even though I'm very critical of Raw, I'll be honest with you. I can be very critical on Twitter when live tweeting it. But, like, dude, like, when it got to the point where I just ended up, like, not watching it anymore this past Monday, and I was like, I texted you, and I was like, dude, I can't watch this anymore. Like, this is just, it's like those crackers you get for the body of Christ when you're in church or something. Just like it tastes like nothing. You're just like, this is like so bland and awful. Like that's how I felt
wrestling the church.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, if we're being honest, it's kind of my religion. I don't know. Like, I don't know who Jesus would be. I mean, I guess Stone Cold, if anything. But
not Seth Rollins, CrossFit Jesus.
Oh, see, now you're talking. But then the body of Christ, you got to think about it. It would be better if it was Milwaukee's Best and it was Stone Cold. But it'd be the body. Seth Rollins' drink of choice would probably be like Smirnoff Ice. Yeah. But like heel Rollins would be like the orange juice Smirnoff Ice, which is actually good.
So I guess we can wrap up Raw and the main roster with, like, besides Seth Rollins, what else do you think they are doing that is good? There's a lot of things that are annoying us, especially like, I think I texted you the other day too, before the TLC match with the Viking Raiders. I was like, why are they facing these no-name guys again? Or why is Eric Rowan facing this no-name guy again? Like, what are we even doing with this guy?
Yeah.
But
well,
like,
I feel like
there's
that's
so
a
much
problem
negative.
Too.
Like,
yeah.
what do you, besides Seth Rollins right now, right? Everybody loves Seth Rollins as a heel. We think he's doing great work as a heel.
Yeah.
What is Vince McMahon and the main roster doing good?
Are we talking about Raw, or are we talking about Raw and SmackDown?
Raw and SmackDown.
See, like the only thing I can think of is Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black. That's the only thing that comes to mind. I'm sure there's got to be something else, but I can't. It's hard to think about because there's so many people on those rosters that it's like hard to kind of filter through. What about you? There's got to be something else you like.
I don't really know, man. At the moment, like it's kind of just stale.
It's very stale. It's the Body of Christ cracker or whatever it's called. I don't know what they're called.
I do think the Rollins thing is interesting. I was kind of hoping for a weird twist when it came to Rey Mysterio, like who was gonna save him, if anybody. Yeah. I was kind of actually hoping that like maybe Brock Lesnar would come out and save him, but then again, we haven't seen Brock Lesnar, and who knows what they're gonna do with that too.
Wait, and this is an honest question. This is how much I try not to watch the main roster. Is Brock Lesnar still WWE champion?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god! When's the last time we saw him? Crown Jewel. Like, how do you get like your like, dude? To me, the WWE Championship doesn't even feel prestige anymore, or prestigious. Excuse me.
I don't even think any of them are.
Like maybe the Universal Championship, but then they fucking ruined that with whole.
Speak of the Universal Championship, like it was kind of weird. Like, all right, you have Bray Wyatt come out as Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend. Interesting. Yeah. Interesting aspect. I thought that was kind of cool, but the match itself, I thought was pretty lame. Like he hits two Sister Abigails and that was it. Like Miz was done. Like the Miz is a much better wrestler than that and should be treated as so. This guy's done so much for the company, and like it just made him like he dominated the entire match. Gets hit with two finishers and that's it. Okay, like yeah, whatever.
Do you feel like they've kind of ruined the Fiend at this point? Because I feel like they should have capitalized on him. Uh-oh. We have an edit.
It's just dogs.
Dude, those dogs are loud as fuck. Oh my god. Yeah. That's why if anyone's listening and they hear me go for like a good like 10 seconds, it's because I'm trying to gather a thought, but I just hear like like bobbing in my headphones.
No, I have dachshunds that just bark for the entire time like my dad is gone. Like
really?
The entire time.
That's why I'm a cat person, dude. I love cats. They don't make a sound, and like they'll kill all the rodents in my neighborhood, which is great. But
yeah, going back to it though, like all right, so it was interesting, right? You have him come out. He's at the blue belt. He doesn't have the Fiend belt, and then it was just like I don't know, like
I feel like they've kind of ruined the Fiend at this point. They I don't know, man. Like when he came out, I remember we were watching it at your house. I think we were doing the live stream for SummerSlam, and when he came out against Finn Balor, I was like, that is the greatest entrance of all time. I don't care what anyone says. Like I still to this day think that Fiend entrance was great. Then you get to Hell in a Cell, which of course was voted number 2 on a lot of lists this year of the worst wrestling moments of the year. A lot of it made it number 1 too, but obviously I talked about how they could have protected both those guys if I was booking it, which may not be the best, booking decision, but I felt like mine was kind of like an okay one. But I don't know, it just feels like they kind of, I don't know how to put it. And I don't want to say they didn't capitalize on him, but I feel like they kind of just did all the wrong booking decisions for him. That's just my opinion, though. I mean,
yeah, I think it was too soon, right? Like, you just won the championship too soon. And it's like, what do you do now? It's not like an Austin Kane feud. Like, we don't have that at the moment.
Right. Well, I remember when they when he debuted against Finn Balor, which, you know what? When I'm done with this, I'm gonna go watch that again because it was just so good. But I remember when they all the wrestling dirt sheets, which obviously you have to take it with a grain of salt, were saying the Fiend is only going to show up once in a while, or Bray Wyatt is only going to show up once in a while. They don't want to overbook him and overdo it. And I was like, that's good. Like that means every time he comes out or does like a family, fun house or whatever, or Firefly Funhouse, excuse me, family funhouse. Why the fuck did I say that? No, but I thought that would have been a great booking decision. Like maybe have him come every couple months or once every 3 months or maybe only 4 times a year for like the big 4 pay-per-views. Like something like that would have been great. But instead they just kind of like, like Vince does, like he overdoes it and he makes stupid, and because he overdoes it, once you get to the point where you run out of all your good ideas, it's kind of like, oh, let's just get whatever we can get. And like whoever brings me to creative or whatever I bring up, because he's surrounded by yes men, they just say yes to everything. But I don't know. They kind of ruined the Fiend for me in my eyes, which sucks. Because when he debuted, like I said, I was at your house and I had fucking goosebumps. I was like, this is Undertaker debut level status. Like this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that title too.
Oh, God. I heard it cost like $6,000, but I could be like wrong about that. I feel like, okay, so if I had to choose besides Seth Rollins heel, let's wrap it up with this. So let's come away with positives. So I choose Seth Rollins heel turn or run, whichever one you want to call it, positive.
Okay. New Day tag team match, positive.
Positive, yes.
Revival looked strong, and they didn't look weak, even though they lost again, but still.
I just hope they go to AEW. Like, them versus the Bucks would be the biggest tag team match of all time.
Not with their multi-year contract.
They didn't re-sign, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I have to look into that because I'm pretty sure the Revival's contract ends this year. This summer it ends. They haven't re-signed.
I don't know.
I don't think they're re-signing. But then, so we got Revival, New Day match, Seth Rollins as a heel. I'll do Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. And then, how can I forget the biggest positive? Lana Russo. No, I'm just kidding. That's
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy, the best.
We said that secret. Right? Aleister Black. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like SmackDown more. I always got to go King Corbin because you want to know something? They gave him the worst gimmick, and he just like makes me laugh every time he pops up on TV.
Yeah, and you know what? I watched backstage with him on there, and CM Punk was on there too, which I thought was pretty cool. But everything he said makes total sense, and I think he is doing his job. Like, he is the heel. And
you talking about King Corbin? You're talking about?
Yeah. He was talking on the backstage. I think not the last one, but the last week one. And Renee Young loved him. Everybody else was like, Paige was like, you're kind of lame or whatever. CM Punk, I think he appreciates his work as a heel. I don't know if he necessarily likes him, personality wise, but you got to give it to Baron Corbin. Like, King Corbin, whatever he goes by now.
King Corbin, yeah.
Like you said, given the worst gimmick, given the worst outfits, the guy goes out there and you want to see him lose. And when he wins, it's upsetting, but yeah, the only thing I dislike what they do with heels is like they always make them on the main roster. They always have to lose by cheating or something cheap, or they get a DQ.
Or like a run-in happens.
Yeah, like why can't he just win? Like, what's wrong with him beating Roman Reigns at least once clean?
Yeah, no, I agree with that because now that you say that, I'm kind of going back to a lot of heel matches in the main roster. I'm like, oh yeah, there always is a run-in or a DQ.
Yeah, how many times does Dolph Ziggler need to run in, or
I'm somebody so else? Sick of Dolph at this point. Oh my god, every time he shows up, I'm just like I said, I'm always at the bar watching SmackDown. I'm just like rolling my eyes, like, why is he back? Like, just
like the way I look at it, right? So you need to have, like, Brock Lesnar's the heel that always wins, right?
Right.
But then there's somebody who rises up and figures out a way to beat him. And that's how it should be with Baron Corbin too, right? So like he should at least win once where another guy can come in, here's an example, Shorty Gable, not necessarily the greatest character, and I don't like, the name change and all that stuff, but here's a guy who came in and, found a way to beat Baron Corbin.
Right.
Because it gives him, like, let's the other person, whatever. Yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, the last thing I want to do is see Baron Corbin get DQ'd by Kibbles and Bits or some shit like that. Like, it's just, they gotta let him. They gotta let him. I think you're right about that. I haven't even thought about that at all. It's like they never have the heels win clean. Maybe AJ Styles, if anything, but yeah, I don't think I've seen King Corbin win clean in a long time.
Yeah, I think the last time he won was against Chad Gable for the King of the Ring. I think just wrapping up more of the what do we think they're doing good on the main roster. Some of these positives is showcasing some more superstars. We're seeing more of individuals that we normally don't see. Example, Matt Hardy. Even though he didn't win, we get to see him on TV now, which people are like going crazy about.
Yeah, that is true. I don't remember. When he popped up the other night on Raw, I was like, I don't even remember the last time I saw Matt Hardy. It might have been Crown Jewel. I don't even know. I mean, the way they had him booked to lose like that, I was not a fan of it. I voiced my opinion on Twitter, and it seems like about 700 people agreed with me with just that one tweet, but it was still good to see him on TV at the same time. But yeah, they are showcasing people, but at the same time, I feel like with them showcasing people, they're having them just lose a lot, and that also kind of brings down their stock a little bit. But but at the same token of that, on the other end of the spectrum, they have Humberto win against Andrade the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, which I'm not a fan of.
I know you do not like Humberto at all, do you?
It's not that I don't like him. It's the opponent he's going against. Like Andrade is, a guy I thought was going to win the Royal Rumble last year. Someone that was going to be like one of the top contenders for a championship. And since he's been called up, like you said, it's kind of just been flat. I do like how they've been teasing the breakup of Zelina and Andrade. My hopes is that eventually the people who are actual couples will manage each other.
Yeah, that's true. Selena with Aleister Black would be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
to be
she
quite
changed her
honest.
gimmick and like wear all dark clothes or whatever. Like, I just
went straight Hot Topic on our asses. That'd be fucking cool. Have like her own Code Orange theme song.
Yeah, like, and then Charlotte and Andrade do like a prestige kind of thing.
Yeah, like a mixed match challenge, but like up to 100%.
Yeah.
All right, well, speaking of the women in WWE, we have an injury report saying Ruby Riott is set for return next month, January 2020, otherwise known as Royal Rumble season. We haven't seen Ruby Riott in a long time, and I felt like they kind of, I don't want to say they buried the Riott Squad when she had the Riott Squad around, but it seemed like they kind of were very lackluster the way they were never booked to win clean or never winning a lot, and it seems like they kind of fizzled out, especially with the Ronda Rousey match. But that kind of means I'm hoping to see Ruby Riott kind of return for the Royal Rumble, maybe with a gimmick change. I mean, and then also we have her former tag team partner Liv Morgan coming up with the tag team change as well. How do you feel about that, Matt? Would you want to see Ruby Riott re-debut for the Rumble, or would you at least want to see a gimmick change?
I don't think Ruby needs a gimmick change. The whole punk rock, whatever she's got going on, I think is perfect for her style. I am, just like everybody else, very interested in what Liv Morgan is going to be, and I know there is rumors about being Sister Abigail, which doesn't make sense because she's on Raw, he's on SmackDown, so that's probably not the way they're going. But I still think she might be like the dark character of the women's division.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Liv kind of just be by herself and see what she does from there. I don't know what the makeover is going to be. Her hair is bleached blonde in that last little video, which might just be the the pre-step before dyeing it completely black. But
because I remember when her Instagram post at one point was like a boomerang video of like the hair dye on the floor, and it wasn't blonde. It was like a dark green, olive, black kind of shade, or it might have just been the filter she was using altogether. I don't fucking know, but it was a dark color. So I feel like that could be like them kind of them showing her in the bathtub with the bleach blonde hair. That's so weird to say her in the bathtub, but like her in the tub. Ugh, I hate saying that. With the bleach blonde hair could be kind of like, I feel like maybe they could do this really well, and it could kind of be a ruse where like they think like, oh, it's gonna be like that. It's just gonna be like Emelina, like she's gonna be this proper pretty chick, but then it's like she debuts and it's like a total 180 from that.
I think the difference is that Emma's contract was expiring and she wasn't happy with where they were going. Obviously, we know that she's now in Impact, and she also went to All In, right? So I think there was more to that Emma story that was just here's this new repackaged character. It failed. She's gone. I think there was more to that with her contract probably expiring, or she probably feared that she was going to get released. Especially, I think she might have had an injury before that or something. But yeah, the whole like hand gimmick weird thing that she was doing, you can kind of tell she didn't care.
Yeah. Well, the rumor I heard about Emelina was right before she was supposed to debut, they weren't a fan of it. Like, creative kind of was like, we don't want to do this anymore. And they kind of just reverted right back as like a panic. But that's just a rumor, because I think what you're saying is at the same time sounds like way more true, how her contract was coming up and she was like kind of like, fuck this, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I think she was also supposed to be like this like sexy character, and
the classic Vince blonde.
She didn't really know. I don't want to speak for her, but I don't think she really knew how to. They didn't know how to package her correctly. She wasn't one of those like. She wasn't Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus.
Yeah,
like any of those like, women that you can think of.
No, I think you're totally right. It just didn't fit her demeanor. Because like you think about how do you say her name? Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah.
Or at the time Emelina. The thing is that like some people just have different kind of demeanors and gimmicks. Like you look at like Mandy Rose. She's kind of that classic Tori Wilson. Not just because she's blonde, but because like she has that like classic kind of ruthless aggression Tori Wilson kind of deal going on, but like obviously way more physical, because the women nowadays are doing a lot more than the women were allowed to do back then as far as in-ring work. But then you look at someone like Tennille Dashwood, where like that doesn't fit her demeanor. She's kind of like that, like, yeah, I'm a hot chick, whatever, but I'll also slit your fucking throat if you're not careful enough kind of look. You know what I mean? It kind of goes from person to person, but I'm really hoping with Liv Morgan they just go like, it sucks because I wanted her to be Sister Abigail so bad. And I think they could have capitalized on that in a big way, but I mean, I guess there's time in the future. I mean, I don't know.
But just like the Fiend, where would she go from there? What would they do? Like, you have to think about the long-term storyline. You're not thinking just like a couple episodes here and there of Raw and SmackDown. You're thinking like, oh, what do we got to do for WrestleMania? What do we got to do? Like, think about the people in creative that have to plan this out for trying to keep his character alive for years, probably.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing I'm worried about with the Fiend. Is like right now he's red hot, or well, he's kind of fizzling out a little bit, which sucks. But like, imagine if like right now it's like 2019, the year of the Fiend, but then 2 years from now, what are we going to see him on the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on the pre-show?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's the last thing I would want to see.
But
I mean, Liv
Morgan win once, so
yeah, he won WrestleMania. He won the WrestleMania 32 one, which I was a Baron Corbin fan back then, which sounds kind of weird because the only reason The only reason I liked him was I was like, oh, he looks like the singer of Super Heaven. Like that's why I like him. He's looks just like fucking Taylor Madison. But I remember when he won, I popped big. But I mean, Liv Morgan, what she could always do is go, Sister Abigail let her contract run out, defect to the Dark Order. That'd be kind of cool. But I think, yeah, we'll see where it goes from there with Liv Morgan. I mean, I'm hoping Goth. That's my ending statement on that.
Yeah, I think everybody is.
And then speaking of other WWE news, we have Street Profits and New Day have signed multi-year extensions to their contract. I'm not sure how I feel about that. New Day, yes, I think they are WWE guys sticking through. Street Profits, I haven't really liked them on the main roster.
I think they've been good. I think it's just we gotta see who's gonna beat the Viking Raiders. Like it's probably gonna be AOP or something, and then
I would assume AOP, and then Seth Rollins gets the championship somehow.
Yeah, but then you got Brock Lesnar, who I mean, you can have Seth Rollins. Somehow you got to turn Brock Lesnar into a good guy, which is why I said I was kind of hoping that maybe he'd come out and help Rey Mysterio, for no reason, but it's not like we've seen Brock Lesnar as a good guy in the past. In his last, since he's been back, breaking up the car with Seth Rollins and everything. And Seth Rollins kind of a dick back in the day, which he's kind of gone to now. But if you have someone like that come in and you have AOP assist Seth Rollins, it's more believable than Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like the Street Profits at some point could, or maybe have AOP take the championships and then book the Street Profits to take it from them at Mania or something like that. But I feel like hopefully they don't just this year they're not oh, the Street Profits are going to be the host of WrestleMania and not wrestle a match. Those guys deserve to be in.
I mean, the last time that was the thing, the Hardy Boys came back, so.
Yeah, but it's the Street Profits. They deserve to be in a Mania match. I would like to see them when we're at Mania this year. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to Mania and TakeOver. But I would like to see the Street Profits in a Mania match this year. But yeah. I feel like I don't know, their main roster run. That it was weird that what was it, the weekend update kind of deal?
I kind of like that.
I didn't. I thought that was weird. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is out of nowhere. It made no sense.
No, it's because NBC owns USA. So because NBC owns it, SNL has the weekend report. So this is the weekday update report or whatever. And they've done the stuff with the SNL, with the guy at Braun Strowman or whatever.
It wasn't bad at all. It wasn't cringy or anything. It was just out of nowhere. I was like, what is this? It was just so out of left field. I mean, I obviously know WWE and NBC have a working relationship. They have for 20 plus years, but I remember I was watching that and I was like, what the fuck is this? But I digress. But so yeah, Street Profits signed a multi-year extension. I think it's good. I think they definitely are WWE guys, the same as the New Day, and we'll have them for many years to come, which is awesome. I mean, there's a couple other tag teams I would like to see leave WWE and maybe go to the Indies or AEW or New Japan. Cough, Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder.
Oh wait, speaking of Kurt Hawkins, this guy. I mean, think about what he's done for wrestling. All the people who are from his school on Long Island are getting contracts left and right.
Are you talking about with WWE or just all over, promotions all over across the board?
Promotions everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember you were, I don't know if you texted or tweeted about it. But you kind of mentioned that at one point, and I was like, really? Because I know he has a wrestling school in Long Island.
Yeah.
But so, I didn't know that he had students that were getting picked up left and right.
Let me just go. I have his webpage open real quick. All right. So AEW's recent signing, Chris Statlander, She's a graduate of his Creative Pro Wrestling.
Stradlanders, holy shit.
Alex Reynolds just joined a Dark Order, part of Creative Pro Wrestling. Let me just keep going. Dun, dun, dun. Pat Buck now works with WWE. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, AEW.
Wait, MJF is a Kurt Hawkins graduate? What?
Yeah.
Kurt Hawkins, you dog. You know how to fucking train him. Well, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of MJF's in-ring work, but as far as, like, I mean, he's the greatest heel of the business right now, but I mean, damn, like, I didn't even know that. He's done that much. Like, he's produced that many great wrestlers.
Yeah, and then just those guys alone, I mean, that's a lot of people so far out of this pretty short listed roster he has up here. There's some other guys, like right now the current Creative Pro champion, or Creative Pro Wrestler champion is VSK, which you might see him at, Beyond or NEW, like working with shows with them. Yeah. Just for your awareness, I saw him at Beyond in Rhode Island, but he didn't actually wrestle. He just kind of did a run-in. But some of these guys work with these cross promotions too that are kind of helping out AEW. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more of these guys that Kurt Hawkins likes to produce. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I listened to a podcast not too long ago. I think it was Sam Roberts, and he was talking to Kurt Hawkins. Actually, it probably was a while ago. But basically, when Kurt Hawkins was... when The Rock was coming back to face John Cena, Kurt Hawkins was chose to help get The Rock ready for his match.
Really?
Yeah, and this is like when Kurt Hawkins wasn't really doing anything. But the fact that, Kurt Hawkins is... Yeah, he was the Raw champion recently, won at WrestleMania, whatever, longest streak that he lost. The fact that you get chosen to prep The Rock for his match is like pretty phenomenal. And then
that's a really big fucking deal, dude.
Yeah, and then you have all these wrestlers who are now becoming much bigger stars because of your school. He definitely has something that all these other people who produce wrestlers don't.
And they're just making him do nothing besides once a month he gets to run after R-Truth for the 24/7 title. If that may be a dark squash match with fucking Ryder. I hope Ryder just... I can't... I hope... I would, I know I'm talking in circles right now, but I would love to see him in other promotions with like a gimmick change kind of deal. But at the same time, he's such a WWE guy that I don't see him going anywhere, especially with his girlfriend, or fiance, excuse me, now being in NXT as well.
Yeah, I know Cody... I heard a rumor that Cody tried to get him to leave too, because they were obviously they're friends, and you go far back on Instagram, you'll see Brandy, Cody, Chelsea, and Zach at like Disney World and all that stuff, because Zack Ryder's a huge Disney fan.
Yeah,
but
he's at Disney with his girlfriend like every week. I'm like, dude, how can you like afford that? Holy shit!
It's the man's salary. No, it's just a Disney pass holder. I have annual. I can go whenever, Monday through Friday.
Pass holder? How much is that a year though?
It's like 300 something
for a year.
Yeah, and then
dude, that's actually a really good deal. Holy shit, 300 for a year.
Florida resident pass holder. Yeah.
You lucky dog, you. Well, I mean, yeah, I would like to see at least maybe Kurt Hawkins go to AEW. I mean, he think about it. He got fired from WWE. He went on the Indies, did all this crazy like good stuff, and then they re-signed him to what? To have a losing streak for a year? It's like, what kind of fucking booking is that shit? It was just, I don't know. It is what it is. But to wrap, as we start wrapping things up for the episode here, just one thing I want to touch on, and then I'll ask you, Matt, if you have anything you want to touch on. Marty Scurll officially debuting for NWA. Obviously, his contract with Ring of Honor expired. His last match was at the ROH pay-per-view that was recently with Flip Gordon, who goes to my gym, and I still haven't talked to him yet, even though I see everyone in my gym wearing Flip Gordon hats and shirts, which everyone's friendly with him, but I'm just waiting until the day he notices my Moxley sweatshirt. Anyways, besides that, I'll shut up now. Marty Scurll going in NWA, which on their pay-per-view was honestly a really good pay-per-view. Fire, which I watched snippets of it and it was really, really good. But him debuting against Nick Aldis, or Aldis as you want to call it, as I call it. They had a kind of a match before a few months ago. Was pretty good. It had a lot of hype around it, but it didn't live up to my expectations. But now it seems like Marty Scurll's kind of like, everyone thought he was going to go to AEW, but, Cody's saying, Marty's going to do what he wants to do, everything. But there's tons of clues, hinting that he isn't going to eventually join. So maybe he'll, get the NWA title for a little bit. Who knows? But him in NWA, I think, is a really good fit. I mean, obviously, NWA is this kind of, studio wrestling throwback. And it's kind of cool to see like a throwback kind of deal at a show like that with like superstars or wrestlers that we love today. Kind of, it's kind of like the weird retro thing. But I would hope that Marty Scurll's going to, at least hold the NWA title at least once. And then hopefully go to AEW, in my opinion. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, I still think the no entrance thing is kind of interesting. I feel like that's a big part of wrestling. But
what do you mean no entrance thing?
There's no entrance music in NWA.
Oh, okay.
Like they just come out and like, I feel like the entrance has always been like a big part of wrestling.
Yeah, like even the theme music too. Because I remember last night when I was watching Power, it was like the Rock and Roll Express came out to like no music. It was just like 300 people in the crowd, like woo! I felt like I was like watching The Price is Right with a wrestling ring. I was like, what is this? I agree with that, but
what are the news do we have? Dusty Rhodes Classic is coming back.
That is true. Yeah, I think they heard they announced that yesterday. Who would you want to see win that? Even if you could like make up your own tag team.
NXT. I don't know.
I keep forgetting who's in like the tag teams are.
Maybe like Mustache Mountain or something.
Mustache Mountain would be a really good choice. I think they honestly deserve it. I'm gonna have to. I would want to see that, but I have to go with my boys. Throwing up the 1 and 2s. I gotta go with Biff and Danny, dude. I won't call him Oni because I hate that name, or I guess so. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burcham. I would like to see them win because they are like workhorses. Like they have put a lot of work in. And Biff Busick has also trained a lot of people. He helped train Sasha Banks when she was on the East Coast before she was signed too. So
both from Boston, right? So
yeah, like Beyond Wrestling, Beyond Wrestling has their own kind of school that they do. I don't know if it's still around, but that's what I would hear. But I would like to see them take it. But I think the proper kind of booking decision would be Mustache Mountain, because they've been putting in because I know that WWE NXT UK has kind of the deal with like the indies out there in Europe, and they kind of have their own deal going on, and they kind of put in a lot of work to like get people going to the NXT UK taping. So I think that would be a good choice too. Trying to see if there's anything else. I'm all set. What do you think, Matt? You got anything else you want to touch on, or is episode 11 in the books?
I think it's in the books. I gotta try to edit these dogs out of this audio now.
Dude, no, they're just a fan of that Roman storyline. That's why they're fucking like, let me in. Yeah. So I think to wrap it up, Matt, what wrestling events are you going to that's coming up?
Oh, geez.
You got a whole list.
Yeah, I'm going to most likely an NXT live event on January 10th. I'll be going to AEW in Miami. I think that is January 15th.
Is that the Bash of the Beach one that they're doing?
Correct. At my girlfriend goes to University of Miami, so I will be in Miami for that. I am potentially going on the Jericho cruise. I am trying to get that.
Dude, you gotta go. You gotta go to that. Is that this coming year or is that next year?
That's it's 2020, but it's January.
Oh, dude, that's so close. You should go to that.
Yeah, I'm trying. I think they're filming an episode on the cruise too.
Yeah, they are. That's the cool thing about it. They did an episode of ROH on the last one too. Is it a pretty pricey kind of deal?
It is, yeah. So
it's open bar the whole time though, from what I heard.
No, I think you got to pay for a liquor or like an
Drink
alcohol
pass.
package. I think all your food is covered. But yeah, so AEW, potentially Jericho Cruise, and then after that it's the same events as NXT Takeover at Amalie Arena, and WrestleMania this year as well.
Hell yeah. Well, I will be, of course, like Matt said, take over Tampa in April 4th, I believe, and then WrestleMania April 5th in Tampa. And then I will also be at Raw in 2 weeks at the Civic Center, or the XL Center. We call it the Civic Center here, where the Whalers used to play. Hopefully that'll be fun. There'll be beer there, so I will definitely enjoy myself regardless. And then I will also be at Northeast Wrestling's Over the Top pay-per-view event in Waterbury, Connecticut. Flip Gordon announced for that, the Rock and Roll Express, and then of course I think the guy who's going to take the main event, the villain Marty Scurll, who I have never seen live yet, which I am most excited for because he's probably one of my top 5 wrestlers in the world right now. So I think that's it. I think episode 11's in the book. Colin, I want to thank you for all the good talks you had. No, I'm just kidding. We miss Colin. So he worked like 160 hours, and I was like, in like 2 weeks. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I barely hear from him. We only hear from him at like midnight every now and then. He's been working like a dog. He's trying to get all these days off so he can come to all these events too. So
I know. We'll definitely try to get a podcast going WrestleMania weekend. So he'll definitely be on that if we do that. But we miss Colin a lot. But he's working like a dog. But gotta make that money. So yeah, guys, we want to thank you guys so much for checking us out. Episode 11. You can follow me at Couple of Tatos. That's TAYTOS. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at HTRW Podcast. Matt, you want to plug your stuff?
And I am at yo_Cali for pretty much everything.
That's right. And as always, we want to thank you guys for listening, tuning in, and all that good stuff. We're going to try to get a pub crawl going, or at least I'm going to try, for April 3rd in Tampa for WrestleMania weekend, or at some point in WrestleMania weekend. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you at episode 12. Thanks much. Bye.